Hey, it's Christy, and I wanted to share a little bit of information. If you have some additional debt piling up, maybe you've got some credit cards that are carrying some balances, and maybe you didn't have that in the past, or maybe you have taken on an installment loan just to get by. Let's face it, inflation has been out of control for the last few years. Interest rates have increased. Costs of just about everything has gone up. It's hard to maintain the same level of lifestyle when our incomes aren't increasing at the level of our costs. So I just want to give you kind of a PSA, public service announcement right now, because you might be receiving some mail from companies like National Debt Relief. Don't be fooled by what they send to you. Let's say you have $30,000 in outstanding credit card bills, and that equates to a $900 a month minimum payment, which most of that payment, let's just face it, is going towards interest only. Not much of it is going to pay down any of that principal outstanding amount. They're going to send you a letter and say, hey, we can cut that $900 down to about $500 and help settle some accounts with your creditors. It's a trap. What they're going to do is start collecting money from you. They're going to have you stop paying your creditors. They're going to send a little letter, kind of like a cease and desist, so that way you're not getting pesky phone calls from collection agencies. All the while, you've got a 30-day, 60-day, 90-day, 120 days late on your credit. So it's destroying your credit score and profile. Now, after about 4 months, they turn it over to a collection agency. So now you have a new and open collection. It's yucky. And then all the while, National Debt Relief is going to hold off or suspend collecting this money from you until there's a certain amount in there. And then they're going to go and bully those credit card companies and try to get them to settle for less. A better way is to reach out to a certified credit counselor. There's tons of them out there. I've got the certification and designation. I don't practice it. I just wanted to know the information. And this is a much kinder approach to debt. So they can go to your creditors and try to negotiate better terms. Maybe you get a forbearance, which means you don't make a monthly payment for a certain amount of months, and it doesn't go against your credit profile as late payments. Get you a chance to get a little savings and get caught up a little bit. So that can often happen if you've lost your job, or you got fired and you got a new job, but you're not earning the same amount, something like that. Maybe there's an illness you are dealing with, some kind of life circumstance. Sometimes they'll give you a forbearance, but you've got to communicate either directly to your creditor or through a credit counseling agency. The next thing is they're going to work on negotiating the monthly payment and the interest rate charged. If they can reduce that interest rate, maybe reduce the minimum monthly payment for you, it can give you some real relief. So isn't this a much kinder approach? All the while, it's protecting your credit profile. It's not slaughtering it like the other guys. So if you're getting letters in the mail because your information's been sold to somebody that all of a sudden now you've got these higher balances, please don't fall for any of that. It's a trap, and it will take you years to recover on your credit profile. I know some people are like, I don't really care that much about my credit, but you should. Employers look at it. Your auto insurance and homeowners insurance looks at it, and it is also the determining factor of interest rates on credit cards, installment loans, auto loans, and your mortgage. It's significant, it's important, and it's worthy of protection. So a couple of quick tips if you are needing to get out from underneath debt while the credit counseling agency is working with your creditors. See if there's something in your life that you can sell. Maybe there's a jet ski that's been sitting in your garage taking up space that you haven't gone out on in 2 years. Can you sell it? Maybe there's an old piece of jewelry. You can sell the gold. Get some extra money so you can pay down some of those balances. Can you get a roommate? Can you work a side hustle? Can you get some overtime hours? I remember at one time in my life when I had 4 maxed out credit cards, I was working 3 jobs. I was working 32 hours as an executive assistant for somebody Monday through Thursday. I was working Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at a jewelry store at the mall. And all the while I was transcribing at night for 3 to 4 hours an evening just to get out from underneath my bills. Sometimes you just wake up and all of a sudden there's this big amount of debt. Like, where did this come from and how did this happen? So in order to keep that from happening again, we've got to change our behaviors, but also pay attention to where our spending is going. And the only way we can truly do that is to follow a budget. I know it feels like a 4-letter word, but it's actually empowering for you because you're telling your money where to go. So I encourage you, create a budget and follow it. When you start writing out your take-home pay and all of your expenses, you're probably going to see that you are negative or in the red. And if that's the case, what can you cut? What can you shave down a little bit? Can you shop at a different grocery store? Can you go out to eat one night less a week? Can you shop insurance to see if you can get that cheaper? There are lots of things that you can do to really bring down some of your expenses. There might be some luxuries in your life that you might need to cut out for a couple of months. Just remind yourself it's temporary, because if it's forever, it's not going to feel very fun, right? It is temporary. What else can you bring in for income, and what can you shave off for expenses? And once your life is a little bit more balanced and you have gotten out of that debt, start bringing in those things that you really enjoy. So if you want to know more about credit, I have a podcast called Credit Coaching by Christy. At the time of this recording, I've got just over 120 episodes where I cover almost every single topic possible. And if there is a topic that's not covered and you want me to cover it, just send a message in this video and I'll make your very own podcast episode for you. And I also wrote this book for you. Finish Financially Free has so much information in there so that you can finish financially free. If I could be of service to you, reach out. I'd love to help. You can email me at questions@creditchristy.com.